Pregame.com.
Pregame.tv, welcome back. Another exciting week. NFL football. We're going to be breaking down your Chicago Bears facing the winless New York Giants. Our newest addition to the pregame team, Brady Kannon, is going to be discussing this game. Before he does so, let me introduce Brady to everyone. Brady is the 2011 winner of the prestigious LV8 Super Contest. Beat out, like, I don't know, 500 other people, hit 71%, 2011, Brady?
Exactly right. Yeah, let's see, 519 entries at the time. That was the record, and it has since been beaten in the couple of years following, and 72.5%. So.
72.5%. I won it with 66% and 67%, and I still am getting emails talking about how soft the field was then versus what it is now.
Really?
So,
it's all coming out the same. I mean, the same percentages are still going to win.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's, other than, I think if you had 72.5% this year, this has been a bad year for a lot of the line moves and a lot of the syndicate bettors. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say 68% is going to win.
Yeah, you've got 1,034 people in it this year, so you could have a needle in a haystack type effort this year, and it wouldn't surprise me.
Now, you're an outstanding football handicapper. Obviously, you had that home run year in 2011, but you're also a very avid golfer, very good golfer. And I want to go ahead and let all the listeners know, in case they need any tee times, you are president of BK's Golf Service as well,
That's
right?
correct, yes. We're like a golf concierge here in town. We make tee times for people visiting Las Vegas that are looking to play at some of the 50 different outstanding golf courses here in town. Our website is lvteetimes.com. You can make the tee time right online or give us a call and talk about the different options we have.
And under the pregame umbrella, you're one of the handicappers now. I'm going to assume you're going to be giving out golf picks as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We had our first basic golf, event last week while I was employed here, and that was the President's Cup. And we I did a forum thing where I, talked about it a little bit and handicapped it a little bit. I did pick the USA. That wasn't a real tough one, but
laying 500.
Yeah, exactly. But the first one coming up, of course, you have Augusta in April next year, but we'll get started in January with the Tour Championship over in Hawaii.
Very good. Well, there's not going to be much golf left in Chicago. We are probably the last 3 weeks of the season there, although they were playing the President's Cup, obviously, in Dublin, which just a little bit down the road, from Chicago. The Bears started out 3-0. Everyone's thinking that they're a contender, perhaps, with the Packers. Reality set in a little bit, 3-2. They right the ship here against the Giants. And are the Giants going to win a game this year?
Boy, I don't think they're going to win this week, and I do think they will win a game, but it started for me with Carolina when they got drummed there about 38-0 or something like that. That's when I said, this team's pretty bad. And then I went against them actually the next week when they went to Kansas City, and Kansas City throttled them there as well. And I went against them last week. I had a feeling the Eagles were going to win that game outright, and sure enough. So I'm not really ready to go against them this week as well. I think there will be a spot for the Giants this season, but I think it's going to be in division, a rivalry type situation when they can kind of turn this ship around. I don't think it'll be in Chicago this week.
Now, Vegas Runner VR, you're itching to talk here.
I've been quiet.
I like it. I'm going to let you talk a lot. You are the king of getting the information. What's the steam plays? What are the wise guys, the winning bettors on? So I'm sure you have seen it. They bet on the Giants and they lose the first 4 weeks.
Correct.
Last week.
All over the Eagles.
All over the Eagles.
So there was such a big steam play. I used it for a premium play, and I said I'm going to give it for free, too. I tweeted it out. It was that big of a play.
One,
they were just at any number. Was it one of those? I remember being in those offices, and they'd yell out, open order. It was betted at any number. That means, just keep betting it till they won't take no more.
This reminds me of a movie. Remember Wall Street? When they're dumping with Blue Star Airlines, they're dumping it, and Gordon Gekko doesn't know what's going on, and they're like can't get any orders to get but it's like the Giants. It's like, well, anyone buy the Giants at -1? No. Pick no.
+1 no. +1.5 no.
And finally, like he says, well, I guess we got to buy a little bit on the way down. We'll take it at 60, and it's kind of like, okay, +2, and people are like, okay,
now I'll take a little back.
Take the Giants at +2. Do you think the Giants can be able to right the ship at any time?
Not on this Thursday night game. I think this is a bad spot for them. And I think it's a good spot for Chicago. Coming off that loss against the Saints, both me and you are high on the Saints coming into the season.
We both have them to win the Super Bowl.
Win the Super Bowl, over 9 wins for the season. I mean, that ticket's already, you could cash it. Start spending that money if you followed us with it. And I think they're the best team in the NFL. I really do. I know people are going to argue and say it's the Denver Broncos, but I'll take that Saints defense over the Denver defense any day of the week. And I'll take Drew Brees and his ensemble of skill position players.
About this.
Seattle's as phony as a $3 bill, I'm telling you now. And at the end of the day, I think that loss against Chicago, because I watched that game, was a little misleading because Chicago the game got out of hand right away. I mean, fumbles right away, the first possession, fumbles the second possession, and they actually started playing well. I mean, it didn't snowball till late.
Couldn't run the ball because it got behind by
exactly.
Got forced into.
And that's what happened. And I think that's not going to happen against the Giants. I
Very
like
different animal this week. They're playing the Giants defense. Last week they played the Saints defense. Totally different.
This has double-digit win written all over it to me.
Is it possible, like we always talk about how we look at a crap team like Jacksonville, and they go 0-5 and they try harder, they're tired of being ripped in the media, but the team that's used to being good, and they suddenly go into the tournament.
Yeah.
A little bit of a different story.
I agree.
Then you got all kinds of distractions. There's pointing fingers.
There's turmoil in the dressing room. There's not.
It's something they're not familiar with. It's new to them. Jacksonville, you can say, is kind of used to this stuff, and maybe knows how to respond better than the Giants.
The Giants, I don't think, have a chip on their shoulder. I think the Giants are hoping the season ends tomorrow, so they could go on vacation.
They're so banged up. Everything's so disoriented. Eli's throwing a pick. I mean, he's got the most interceptions in the NFL, and that's going to change. But still, like I said, I just think there's so much chaos there.
And I don't think I'm hearing a lot of, the NFC East is still wide open. If they won last week, they'd be.
You're right.
Exactly. But if they won last week, they'd still be. They wouldn't be that far out of it. Type of talk. I think they know they're
playoffs. They're just trying.
Exactly.
Playoffs.
They want the season to end.
They
want the season to end. They want the season to end. This team, you could tell.
Like I said, I think there's going to be a spot when we talk, 6 weeks from now, and they're playing the Redskins at home, and everything.
There'll be value in the betting. I mean, this spread's the great equalizer.
Sure.
They might get rid of a coordinator, and then they'll get the dead cat bounce and get a game or two where they play real hard. One thing about the Mannings, I do not like the body language of either Peyton or Eli when things are going bad. They have a way of looking like kind of like I might look when I lose a hockey pick and I'm like hockey handicap not worth. It's like it's not my fault. I'm just trying to get through all this with this line.
It's everyone else's.
I think we're all on board. Brady, you want to make it official?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chicago Bears minus. What's that?
You're taking the Chicago Bears. Go ahead.
The Chicago Bears minus 7.5 on Thursday Night Football. That's my pick.
I like it.
Very good. Let's talk about derivative betting. Do we just bet Chicago on the game? We might want to tease a little bit on the Bears as well.
Tease it.
Do we play? One thing we didn't talk about Thursday night. We always our first look is to play under and to play the home team. Now that we don't do it blindly. We do it selectively. But that's another reason with a short work week. We always when we like a home team. We like the fact that the road team has less. Basically
the one thing that I want to touch on real quickly is I talked about it on radio 2 weeks ago, and now it's starting to happen about the Thursday night unders. That once
word got out,
everybody starts talking about it. The betting market is efficient, and an efficient market corrects itself.
Right.
And everyone came into the season. The professional bettors, we knew to bet under the first few weeks.
Right.
But once word spreads like
openers come lower.
That's it, and there's no more value. And I bet over last week, and I bet over the week before. So I wouldn't automatically say an under just because it's a Thursday night game.
Right.
But this is a chalky white double-digit blowout right here. Put the kids to bed.
The last chalky white we had was the the Monday night with the Saints the 2 weeks ago, destroying Miami.
Yes.
So that was an excellent chalky way. It was fun talking NFL. We're going to go ahead and talk some college football. I believe we went college for you.
Oh, college, I'm going this week.
Stay with us, pregame.tv. We're going to be breaking down college football. Your Oregon Ducks. Can anybody beat this team? They're playing a very much improved Washington Husky team in their newly renovated stadium. Should be a rocking crowd. Stay with us, pregame.tv.